Hello there and welcome to Travel Tomato. This is Jin here in Brooklyn, New York, and with me here today is a real, a true 100% New Yorker, Mr. Talib. Welcome, Talib. Could you
Hello.
please, firstly introduce yourself a little bit?
Hello, yes, my name is Talib, or you can call me Mr. Talib. I'm actually a native New Yorker. I've been born and raised in New York. Been living here for over 40 years. Actually.
Wow. What are you passionate about in your life?
Oh, I'm actually working on a passionate project. It's actually a 10-year project.
Oh, 10-year project.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's keep you busy at least for 10
Oh,
years,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
Well, it's a big project and I'm working on it and it takes 10 years to build. And I'm passionate about that because it includes all my favorite things in it.
For example?
I love animals.
Uh-huh.
I've actually been in the pet business for over 30 years.
Uh-huh.
And this place has a zoo for me here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
Cool.
well, collectible place where I could collect my specimens or species of animals that I like. You know, I like to be in the animal field soon, you know, for my personal reasons and also educational reasons.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like to be in tune with wildlife and animals, man.
Oh, that sounds cool.
So this place offers that ability for me.
Wow. Wow, that sounds awesome. Yeah, I really look forward to seeing the, operation one day. Yeah. I know that you lived for quite a long time in Harlem, where it has a lot to do with jazz music, with a lot of
fountain of
things.
jazz, right.
Yeah. So could you please tell us, your stories or your experiences with that place?
Okay, well, I'm actually from Harlem, actually. That's the area of New York I'm from, if you're familiar with the five boroughs. And I always like Harlem because it was in Manhattan, first of all. And when you associate yourself with Manhattan, you're known as money-making Manhattan. So that had a nice little ring to it, so you want to be affiliated. And Harlem had a different style to it, too, that I appreciated. You know, I grew up in a hip-hop era, which is pretty much the 70s. The start of hip-hop started somewhere in the 70s. And that era was like a cool time for me in the atmosphere and the people. And, you know, the way people felt was great at that time, and I was happy to be a part of that. And that's the era pretty much where I grew up in. Now, the jazz and stuff was before me.
Yeah.
But there's still elements of that there.
That's
You
true.
know?
Yeah. So, a lot of visitors coming to New York, they really want to find some place that are not so popular, that are not so touristy. So I guess you're the best person to give that kind of suggestion.
Well, maybe not, because, you know, I don't actually go out as much as I used to. Things change. The bars and clubs are a little different now. But I always liked certain neighborhoods. And one of the neighborhoods I did like was the Village area in Manhattan. That's Lower Manhattan. And they have east to west. And the whole Village area from east to west is a nice experience, especially with the nightlife too. Over there is interesting. They have a nice variety of food, clubs. The culture's a lot mixed. There's a lot of different things happening in that area. Always appreciate that area.
I see.
The quiet moments, the backyard space in the big city, the park areas like Central Park, Prospect Park. I appreciate those areas too. I don't always need that's the thing about New York. You don't always have the excitement and a rushing and back and forth. There's a lot of little nice areas that's quiet, calm. You know, there's neighborhoods. Every neighborhood is different, and most of the times in the five boroughs, especially Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Brooklyn is like the biggest, and every neighborhood in Brooklyn is totally different. Brooklyn is known for the neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And tree-lined blocks. There's a lot of trees in Brooklyn.
Oh, right. Like what we are here at
Yeah,
this
a lot of
moment.
trees in Brooklyn.
Yeah, that's a very fascinating thing about New York. Because usually when people see New York in movies, on TV, it's always the skyscrapers.
yeah.
The fancy part, the skyscrapers, the hustle and bustling traffic, things like that. But actually in New York, you can always find, a corner that is so tranquil, serene.
Quiet, and it's exactly what you need for that moment. That little break from all the hustle and bustle.
Right.
New York got a lot of pockets like that, but you have to know New York to know those spaces. You can't just walk around here and think you're gonna find them.
Yeah.
You kind of have to have some experience.
Right.
Know how to get around.
Yeah.
Living here, you probably don't see the values that you have right in front of your face. You know, I got to learn to appreciate a lot that New York have to offer, but haven't yet been able to take advantage of it per se. But you know, I like the fact that I have the freedom that I have here, and I guess that's what makes me proud to be a New Yorker mainly.
Yeah, that's cool. So, looking back into your over 40 years of living in New York, well, when was your happiest moment?
I gotta say, I have to say, in my early 20s, I had everything I possibly wanted at the time. I pretty much was very content with the way I was living.
So that was like around the year 2000,
1997,
97.
98.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, about that time, 1997, 1998. That was like my prime, I guess. At the moment, so far, it's been my prime.
Yeah.
There's other plateaus I have to reach. Right?
Yeah, so was, that time very different from today? I mean, in general? I mean, the society-wise?
Society, yeah, a lot of things changed for, for instance, like, the clubs, the bars at night, the atmosphere, the attitude changed a little bit. You know, people evolved and things wasn't as serious as they are now. You know, things are a little different. So I think things just evolved.
Yeah. One guy or one girl or one person who is also a New Yorker that you want to share the story of that person.
Okay. I have one friend. He's actually a cousin of mine. And we like so many of the same things. I mean, so many of the weird things we like together too. And it's like the only person I can actually be myself 100% around. And that person vice versa. And no matter how stupid our behavior is, we could correct each other without having any issues with that, you know? And we love to correct each other.
Wow.
I don't know, it was just something about catching you when you're not on your best and being the one to tell you that you're not on your best, you gotta sharpen up.
Oh. It's great to have such a friend in life.
Yeah, that is a great thing to have. And you don't have many, and you're lucky to have one. And most of the times you don't know you have it until it's gone. So those situations, you gotta cherish when you get them, I guess.
Right. So you really enjoy interacting with people from different places or with different cultural backgrounds, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to build like a connection type thing. You know, I also do want to experience traveling around the world myself. And you know, doing this way, I get to get a little bit of information about everywhere without have to go there. You know? People come here, everyone comes here, I really don't have to leave. But I get a little insight of what's happening in these other countries.
Right.
My plan is actually to move to another country.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to do a little traveling to find a place.
Oh, cool. So what is your top destination?
Well, it's just, I would like to be in Europe.
Oh.
The main reason to be in Europe is only because you could travel to different countries quite easily.
Oh, that's true.
So if I'm there, I could visit a lot of other places easy. Like, you know, hour or two would be the distance in most cases.
I see.
So that's why I'm primarily looking for a place in Europe. But I have to travel to see these places.
Cool.
You know, and that's my plan.
Yeah, that's great. So as a New Yorker, what are your top 3 tips, suggestions for first-time visitors in New York?
Well, first-time visitors, you're gonna have to get some good walking shoes. Because you're gonna do a lot of walking, and walking is highly recommended. That's how you're gonna find places. And you know, pace yourself. You know, don't try to do everything in one day. You know, if you don't do it all while you just visit, you gotta try to make a second visit. But you take your time and go through everything one solid good time, so you don't have to repeat it also. You know, and that's it, basically. I got 2 things. Those are the 2 things I would recommend.
Thank you so much,
Yeah, you're
Talibi,
welcome.
for joining me.
Anytime.
Thank you. Yeah,
Anytime.
cool.
New York, mamma mia New York, come spiegare New York? Tanta gente a New York, ma nessuno di New York, solamente New York. 5 donne spettacolari escono da un hotel, mamma mia gli